Okay, so I was gonna try to update people on what we learned from Netflix and the New York Times and the people that came forward. You're gonna have to bear with me because I'm very exhausted, and I've cried enough for probably about 3,000 people in the last like 48 hours. So, but the first thing that we learned was that the Meredith Lab in the University of Maryland came forward, and they are recreating these mice with the genetic defect of KCNMA1, which is what Kamaya has, and a few other kids out there that I have recently become aware of. And I feel like in the long run that will be a great tool for future people. It would take years to create medications, and it would have to go through trials, and it would have to get approved through the FDA, and there would have to be a lot of research done, on safety and all those kinds of things, which it needs to be done because, quite frankly, that's how anybody gets any treatment anywhere. So that is one thing. But the other thing that came forward was a man named Matt Might. And Might, as in Might, which is interesting because since Kamaya was very little, we've called her Mighty Kamaya D. And I almost feel like it was a God shot. But he came forward and he said, I've looked at Kamaya's strand, and her strand is very susceptible to this kind of testing that exists at the University of Alabama. And essentially what they would do is recreate Kamaya's damaged cells and test every single drug known to man against it to see what would change it for her without actually having to actually drug my child. And any of you that know me know that drugging my child really isn't an option because what she has is so rare. We don't know, and I can't take away from her what she already has. So I'm very leery of medicating when we don't know what the outcome is, and she's happy right now, and I don't want to take that away from her. But he has done this with other people, and he found that one person, his son actually, in fact, responded to Prevacid, and it essentially, which is over the counter at your local Target or Walmart's, and it changed his life, and he would have never known if they hadn't done this. And so he wants to do this for Kamaya. He's reached out to a couple of different like drug companies and tried to get bids from them to see if they would sponsor this for Kamaya and try to knock the price down, because usually it ranges from $250,000 to $300,000 to do this. And they got it all the way down to $112,000. Now, I don't have $112,000. I can't just write a check. I'm going to have to crowdsource. I'm gonna have to throw everything I have at it, and I'm gonna have to reach out to people that I don't even know. If there's one thing I am, it's determined. The other thing I am is I'm just a mom, and I'm very tired and I'm very scared. And I serve a big God. And I know that this opportunity is once in a lifetime. And I know that it could not only save Kamaya's life, but change it. Change it safely, not change it dangerously and risk her brain and risk who she is and risk the happiness that she has. So I am going to ask you guys to help. I'm going to ask you guys to share, and I'm going to ask for a lot of hugs. In-person hugs. Internet hugs are cool, but I really need ones in person too. So hang on. It's going to be a wild ride.